we're ready now to make the nose, or rather just add a little bit of the beige colour there to add in the nose area. So breaking a very small amount, and I'll just bring it together in my hand. I think I've got just a wee bit too much there, so yeah, just bring it together in your hand and then it just stab it into place. So next we can attach the ears, and those nice loose ends that we've left there will attach nicely to the back of the head. Yes, make sure it's the right way up with the nose colour at the top. I've made that mistake before, and then we'll just stab it into place. Now I have my nice cup of peppermint tea ready. We'll start on the eyes. So I've got all my eye colours ready there, and I don't know if you can see the way the colours are built up there on the demonstration Hare. We start off with the black, that's the bottom layer. So I'm just breaking it up loosely. So as I go along doing the eyes, I'm going to measure out the two pieces together. So I'm going to have sort of even sized. So I've done two pieces of black there. I'll set one aside for the second eye. Now I'm just rolling it in my hand quite loosely. I don't want it to be too firm. So nearly forgetting about the eye sockets, we need to just stab in that area where the eyes are going to sit before we add this first layer of wool. Just running my needle over the top, that way we can find out where it starts and ends and get even eyes. Just look up above from the top and you can usually see whether they're lined up right. Okay, so once we have the sockets in place, those little dents, we can add the black. So just going around the edges first. If we come from the outside in, that's going to bring it in smaller. Go around the edges and make sure you're happy with the size of the eye before you start stabbing into the center. So I'll add the other side, make sure that they're lined up as you go along before you commit. Again, if we run that needle across the start and the end of the eye, and once you're happy, then we can stab it all over to firm it up before you put the next colour on. So when we add the second colour, we just want to leave the outside of the black showing. And again, I'm making the two together so they're pretty evenly sized. I think that's just a wee bit too big. So we'll make them a little bit smaller. And again, we don't want to felt them too hard in your hand, otherwise they won't want to attach into the eye. And I'm just rolling it between my fingers there just to give it a bit more, and that's what we say, sort of an almond shape rather than a perfectly round eye. So attaching it and just leaving the black around the outside of the colour. So once we have that in place, we'll go back to the black and put that on as the next layer, leaving the colour around the outside. So we're layering it up. You can really take your time with the eyes and get some good results. And if it does go really wrong, it can felt right over the top again. I've done this myself. Needle felting is so forgiving, so don't worry if you're not happy with them. You can do it all over again. Now the last touch is this lovely bright white, and you literally take 2 or 3 strands. It's such a small piece to add the water in the eye, or where the light reflects off the eye, and it's quite fiddly, and it just goes in that top corner there. And it really brings the eye to life once you've added the white. So I'll do the second side, but first I think I'll just finish off my cup of peppermint tea. It is optional, but if you'd like to make an eyebrow, we just roll it up between your hands and just add it over the top of the eye. We're ready now to attach all the parts. So we'll start off with the head. So pressing it down against the body, making sure it's in the right position, and start stabbing up into the head. Make sure you check your position as you're felting away, so your head isn't, unless you want it turned to the side. It depends whether you want it looking straight ahead but just keep an eye on the position of the head as you're felting. Once we have the head attached, we're going to take a strip from some of our wool batting. It tears down one way. If I try to pull it apart the other way, you'll find out when you're handling it that you're able to pull off strips in the way the wool's running. So just going to attach, start by attaching the strip to the shoulder of the hare, and then it will wrap around like a scarf, and you want to make it quite tight around the neck, keeping as you're handling the wool, keeping your thumbs and fingers tight together and stretching it. That'll stop the bulk building up in the neck area. And by keeping your hands tight together, the wool's not going to break so easily. Don't worry if it does, you can just break it off and start again. And I'll give it a second wrap around the neck area. Same process again. So to tidy up the neck, we can take some really short strips then and lay them up and down over the neck where we've just wrapped to hide that obvious strip around the neck. So we'll just carry on round all the way around the neck, just to cover up that join. We can now attach the front legs. I'll just put them against the hare. You see how the little piece of felt at the top fits neatly against the hare body. So I'm just trying them for size. Yep, that's going to work nicely. So I just need to felt that down now. If there was too much of that pre-felt at the top, I could just cut it to size. I'm just going to pull away the fibres at the top of the pre-felt, and that way it will attach a lot better. So it's ready now just to attach to the hair. So I'm only attaching the top half of the legs. So the bit from the chest downwards, they'll just hang. And when we come to attach the hind legs, just put it in position to see how it's going to fit. Again, I'm just going to pull the edges away there so it's a bit more frayed, and it'll attach nicely to the base. Also, if the felt's a bit long at the back, we can just pull a bit off. So sit them into position and make sure they're in the right place before we commit to attaching them. And once you're happy with where they're going to be sat, we'll just felt that down underneath. So we'll have some nice patches underneath, which will easily be covered over with some more wool. So don't worry about that. Just make sure that we've got them in the right place before we felt them down good and proper. Now I haven't actually added the toe detail yet, but you could add it before attaching the legs to the hair. I'll show you how we do the toes once I've got these attached. So we go with the dark brown wool again, and we need to make those thin strands like we did with the face detail. Just the same procedure again. We're stabbing into the foot to make the toes, and then we'll add the brown wool. But as I say, you could actually put this detail in before attaching the legs if you find it easier. I have my colours out to make the tail for the hare, and I just stack them up. I've got the natural white and the beige and some of the hare brown. I'm just roughly measuring it against the back of the hare, and I want to make that a little bit fluffier, so I've doubled the white up there, and I'll just roll that in my hand a little bit to bring it together, and then I'm going to stab it lightly before I attach it to the hare. So I'm just going all the way around the edges. You could put in different colours if you wish. You could add a bit of black in there, or whatever you think, maybe a little dark brown. So attaching it firmly underneath, and then I'll have to lay some more of the hare brown on the base where the join is to hide it, and just going all the way around the edges to attach it, just leaving that little fluffy bit at the top. We can add some more colour to the hair by blending some of the wools together. If I just take 3 of the colours here and just mix them in my hands, just breaking them up. So you can mess about with the blending your colours. If you add a little bit more of the beigey colour or the reddy colour, you'll get a different effect. So just have a play about with the colours. Now we can't have a hair without some fine whiskers, so that's our final job to finish off the hair. So taking one of the whiskers out of the kit and threading it through your needle so you've got a double length. We'll take it from right to left, and we'll leave 2 whiskers on that side. We take it back again, leaving nothing on the left hand side, then back to the left, and then back over to the right. Nothing on the left hand side and 4 whiskers on the right hand side. So next we'll start on the left hand side and add 4 whiskers to that side. I have an additional video on my website just demonstrating how to do hair whiskers, so you may want to have a look at that also. And then just carry on and add as many whiskers as you wish to finish off your hair. And once you have your well whiskered hair, you just need to trim the ends down to size.